When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
Tucker, you are not the father. This has to be wrong!
After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
If it was okay to have anal sex.
No apologies.
You were talking about things that probably you shouldn't talk about.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I finally had my own show!
At one point, your ancestors owned slaves.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off, actually.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with your host, Alex Stein, starts right now.
Welcome to After Hours with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Alejandro Stein, on this lovely Friday evening. You're watching it right here on Real America's Voice, and we got a spicy, spicy burrito of an episode for you. I'm talking about Tucker and Huckabee, Trump getting his tariffs denied by the Supreme Court, and of course, we have to talk about the royal family. The first royal family member in, I think, ever in history, maybe, or something like 300 years, Prince Andrew was arrested for being a pedophile with his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein. And like I always say on the show, reality is stranger than fiction, because I guarantee you if Prince Andrew, which he probably did commit some of these crimes in America, the American government would never have arrested Prince Andrew. He would have total immunity to commit crimes in America. So I'm very surprised that the royal family is actually holding Prince Andrew accountable. To me, it is just kind of a shocking situation, because you would think that they would try to protect their own. So I actually, you know, if he was diddling kids, which there's a lot of evidence that he was, I really want to just give a big shout out to the United Kingdom, to the royal family, for actually holding Prince Andrew accountable. And I guess he's not even a prince anymore. I keep calling him Prince Andrew. He's like a nobody Andrew now. Prince Montalban or whatever his name is, well, he's nobody anymore. But you know who I do feel bad for? I feel bad for his kids. I feel bad for his ex-wife. You know, this is a very tragic situation. It's not a funny situation, you know, when these elites are on boats, like doing horrible stuff to kids. But in a way, it is kind of entertaining, like a reality show, or like, I guess a reality show that the prince, the queen's son, her favorite son, the one, the only Prince Andrew, got arrested. And let's play this first clip. This is more releases about the Epstein, in the Epstein releases. This is the connection between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. Let's play the clip.
As revealed in the Epstein files, Andrew sent emails to Jeffrey Epstein about his trips to Southeast Asia and about possible financial deals in Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011.
There is a suggestion from those emails and those documents that he sent highly confidential, highly classified, very sensitive information to Jeffrey Epstein and other contacts.
He has vehemently denied any wrongdoing since he befriended Epstein in 1999, including knowing Virginia Giuffre, who accused Epstein of trafficking her to have sex with Andrew when she was 17.
So, as you saw in that clip, Virginia Giuffre, who died under mysterious circumstances, suicide allegedly, was also hit by a car, was one of the few people that accused Prince Andrew of actually, you know, sexually trafficking her. And it just has a weird connection with the fact that Savannah Guthrie, who is the daughter of Nancy Guthrie, who was kidnapped, and now we're going on almost 3 weeks of no evidence, no idea where her mother is, was one of the few people that actually interviewed one of Prince Andrew's alleged victims. So I know that is kind of convoluted, but it does seem weird that the Prince of England, the royal family member, is getting arrested, and at the same exact time, Nancy Guthrie is getting kidnapped. And then on top of that, you have to add the connection of Michael Feldman, who's Savannah Guthrie's husband, who worked in the Clinton administration in the 90s. Like, all of this seems like it's not connected, but to me, a conspiracy theorist, I feel like there has to be some sort of connection. And then I think that there's a whole ball of worms that is going to come out in the near future that's really going to put a stain on the royal family. So they're trying to get out ahead of this, because there's going to be more that's released, and there's going to be more evidence that they were doing some disgusting things. And we have this picture that is going so viral of Prince Andrew. It was the first picture taken of him when he got out of jail. I believe it's SOT number 2. Yes, this in the car. Now, to me, that looks like a guilty guy. He's trying to hide back there. He looks dejected. He looks like a guy that has, I hate to say it, almost nothing to live for anymore. I mean, he needs to really be on suicide watch. And I don't think he would actually do that, because there is a good chance that he goes to court and he somehow gets a sweetheart deal. Like, that's not out of the picture. But that is a guy that is a loser. So we're going to give him the L of the day. Prince Andrew, you are a loser. You know, you have brought a huge stain on your royal family, much worse than Meghan Markle could ever do, and she sucks. So think about that. Meghan Markle, universally loathed, and you are actually worse and a bigger loser than your sister-in-law. So, or I guess that's your aunt or niece-in-law, whatever. It's all confusing. You get my point. She is terrible, but Prince Andrew, you're way worse. You're a much bigger loser. Okay, now I want to kind of shift to Les Wexner. Les Wexner was the billionaire that gave Jeffrey Epstein the 50,000 square foot house in New York City, which was the largest residential house in the entire island of Manhattan, under mysterious circumstances. And what he is saying is he's saying that he was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, which I find that very hard to believe. But in this clip, it's going viral, where his attorney threatens to kill him if he continues to talk. Now, it might sound like a funny joke to you and me, but these are people that actually kill people. This is not a joke to them. I don't think that anything about this is necessarily meant to be a joke. Like, that attorney right there is saying, I will kill you if you say more than 5 words. Now, you might not take that literally. You might think, oh, he's just speaking metaphorically. But these are people that traffic children on islands and allegedly turn their bodies into beef jerky. Now, I don't know, we don't have a ton of evidence for that, but my point is, there is a lot of evidence that they were sexually molesting kids. And sometimes if you don't want a kid to talk, what do? You throw them off a boat in the middle of the ocean. Bye-bye, little kid. And Les Wexner, I don't know if he did that, but I know that he was friends with a guy that potentially did that. So when you get threatened by a multi-million-dollar attorney that I'm going to kill you, I would take that as a 100% serious threat. So let's play this clip.
It was just regularly done. Answer the question. 5 words, okay? Answer the question, okay?
And I know everybody online's laughing at that. They think it's so funny. But he also dropped an F-bomb. Just basically meant to intimidate Les Wexner. Now, I don't know if the attorney's playing some sort of 5D chess to try to make Les almost look like some sort of victim, like he's an old guy that's feeble and that, he can't even answer these questions correctly. But I don't think so. I think that Les Wexner is a billionaire that runs Victoria's Secret, a huge company. Everybody's gotten some underwear from Victoria's Secret. Hell, I love their panties. I honestly, when I see a woman in a Victoria's Secret thong, I get excited. And you know what? The difference between me and Les Wexner, he wants to see a 9-year-old in it, and I want to see an adult. So this guy is very powerful. He's very connected. And the people that he hires to represent him in a criminal case like this are the top of the top when it comes to attorneys. So that attorney saying, I'm going to effing kill you if you say more than 5 words in an answer, to me seems like a direct, serious threat. And I would not be surprised, and I hope this does not happen, that something terrible happens to Les Wexner. Because to these evil people, these elites, this deep state, whatever you want to call it, they have a lot to lose. Les Wexner is, he's over the hill. He's probably not too worried about his reputation because that's gone. He's one of the biggest donors to Ohio State football. They haven't actually denounced him yet, I don't believe. So Les Wexner's going to be A-OK. He's going to be able to go and get on his yacht and do whatever he wants because, sadly, our government is incredibly feckless. Kash Patel is getting outmaneuvered by the royal family when it comes to the Epstein arrest list. And that's right. The UK has arrested more people from Jeffrey Epstein's assaults than the United States government. Can you believe that? I can't, because I would have thought Prince Andrew would have had immunity. I would have thought that he would have been considered untouchable. But no, not to the UK, not to the royal family. They don't want to have a stain of a child molester tainting their heritage, their legacy, and I totally understand that. So I would really, really implore Kash Patel, if you guys are watching this, we need to make arrests Les Wexner was not a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. He was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. He was the guy that basically financially bankrolled his entire operation. And Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't have been Jeffrey Epstein without Les Wexner. So we need to start holding Americans accountable, especially Americans that trafficked and sexually molested kids. It's not too much to ask, and it would be universally loved by both sides of the aisle. So I'm asking, I'm begging, and I'm telling you, Kash Patel, you need to arrest somebody. Maybe start with this attorney for threatening his client. I feel like that has to be some sort of violation of his, oath that an attorney takes. But listen, I'm not a legal expert, but I do know that if some attorney was telling me, you say 5 words, I'm going to effing kill you, I would take that as a very serious threat, and I would be worried for my life. So I don't know. Maybe Les is not worried. Maybe he understands the seriousness of this and that the attorney was just trying to get the message across. But to me, I think there's something more nefarious with that. And I don't think that attorney is necessarily a serial killer. But that attorney probably knows people that can kill somebody. He probably knows hired hitmen. And like I always say on the show, reality is stranger than fiction. And I think it's very unlikely that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself by hanging himself off the top bunk of his prison cell. So if they took him out, they can take you out, Les. So be very careful. I hope that doesn't happen to you, but honestly, if you're a pedophile, I really don't care if it does happen to you, if I'm just, being honest. But my point is, I would like to be able to get some information from Les and expose all these child pedos. All right, coming up next, guys, Trump's tariff shot down by the Supreme Court. And what is this going to do for the American consumer? I think we're going to be the ones that have to foot the bill. Coming up next.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless. Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
Hi, my name's Paul Foyer. I'm Foyer04 in the Getter Chat. I love rap for all the Getter, all the War Room Posse, and all of you guys. Love y'all. Bye.
Welcome to After Hours on Real America's Voice with your host, Alex Stein. And it looks like it's a bad day for the Trump administration. I hate to say it. You know, we love Trump here. We support Trump. And you know what? I supported a lot of his tariffs. But it looks like the Supreme Court does not. But I'm actually surprised that they don't support Trump. I mean, Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't even know what a woman is. I'm surprised she knows what taxes are. And, you know, she is an African-American woman. You think that she would, I don't know, I guess want to help out our country. But sadly, I think a lot of our Supreme Court justices are DEI hires that don't actually care about our country. And I think that it shows with this ruling. But sadly, us, the American population, the tax-paying citizens of this great country, are going to be the ones that are on the hook for this entire bill. Now, I just saw Governor Pritzker, who lost the Chicago Bears because they're potentially moving to Indiana, just sent Trump a bill for $8.9 billion. And then you see Donald Trump's, basically his chief of staff, Howard Lutnick, actually shorted all of these tariffs, and now he was able to buy the tariffs back for pennies on the dollar, making him incredibly rich. He shorted the fact that all these companies were going to get a rebate, and so that he bought their debt that they had, and I guess he got to keep about 5 to 10 times what his initial investment was. So is that an inside job? Probably so, but I don't know. I'm not a complex financial expert, but Howard Lutnick is. I'll tell you that much. So let's play this clip of Trump talking about the Supreme Court ruling.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing. And I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices.
It seems like Justice Alito and Kavanaugh are the only ones that actually have a brain on the Supreme Court, which is a real travesty because these people are very influential when it comes to American policy. And now Donald Trump is kind of up a creek without a paddle, but he is eyeing a plan to fix all of this. Now, I want to play that clip, then I'll give you my opinion.
But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so.
Now, that's incredibly vague. I'd like to know what alternatives we're going to do to, I guess, get all the money that we're potentially going to lose. But when it comes to geopolitical trade and doing business with these foreign countries, it's always America that gets the short end of the stick. And we finally had a president in Donald Trump that actually wanted to level the playing field, make it so American businesses and American citizens can prosper without constantly being under financial gridlock from Canada, China, all of these foreign adversaries. Well, I guess Canada is not an adversary, but my point is, this was a good thing for our country. And now these taxes, we're not going to be able to get this money. It's going to cause us a bunch of problems. But for me, I think the real smoking gun in all of this is, what is the connection of Howard Lutnick to the fact that the Supreme Court just ruled the tariffs down? Did he have inside information? Did he know that this was a boondoggle from the start and that these were never going to be accepted? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just speculating that. But I really would like to get some answers from Howard Lutnick. And he's just sitting there laughing while Donald Trump is sweating bullets because Donald Trump has to be the fall guy. And that's the problem, is that I think Donald Trump is a great guy. But sometimes I think he gets bad advice from people that he thinks has their best interests when they really don't. And there's a saying, just because they're with you, it doesn't mean they're for you. And I think that's the problem that's happening right now, is a lot of the people in Trump's cabinet, they're all with him, but I don't know if 100% of them are for them. I think a lot of them are for themselves. And that's why they're getting rich, why Donald Trump has to get all the hard questions, has to take all the heat, why they just get to sit back and collect billions of dollars. Not millions, but billions of dollars. So I'm looking at you, Howard Lutnick. Well, we got some questions. You need to give us some answers. And do not let Donald Trump be your scapegoat on this entire situation, because people benefited from this. But it wasn't Donald Trump and it wasn't the American people. So we need to hold the people that benefited from this accountable to find out if there was some nefarious business going on. All right, guys, so it's going so viral right now. Tucker Carlson flew to Israel to interview the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Now, the clips are going wild. There's a lot of people that think it was great for Tucker. A lot of people think it was great for Huckabee. And if I'm just calling balls and strikes, I thought Huckabee handled himself very well. He gave a lot of political non-answers. That would be a big critique that I had. But he was pretty smooth. He is a professional operator. He knows what he's doing when he's getting grilled with hard questions. But I also, I'm Team Tucker. He's my biological stepfather. So I really appreciate Tucker really kind of putting the screws to him. So I think that they both did well. I'm not going to be one of these people that it's like a football team. Oh, it's a Cowboys versus the Redskins, because that's what we do is we go Macho Man Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan. We like to pick a side and stay on that side. Not me. I'm just an umpire. I'm the umpire. I'm not a fan. I'm just trying to call balls and strikes. But one of the answers that Mike Huckabee gave, to me, seems incredibly insensitive. Now, in this answer, Mike Huckabee says that he is not sad that a 14-year-old Hamas kid, got blown up by Israel. Now, that's my one big critique. I like Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. But the IDF is arguably one of the best militaries in the world. They're very strategic when it comes to their attacks. Unless you're talking about the Gaza Strip. It seems like they've just totally leveled the entire city. And now you have people like Mike Huckabee saying that when they have to build it all back up, that it shouldn't cost Israel any money, that we should be the ones that foot the bill for the reconstruction of the entire Gaza Strip. And you have Donald Trump saying he's going to build hotels there. So maybe we're going to have a Margaritaville, on the Gaza Strip. That sounds like it could be fun. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, Huckabee just seems so insensitive. We lose our connection with humanity when we start cheering for our favorite football team instead of just being based in reality that a kid that is 14 years old whose father got blown up by a rocket is probably going to have to join Hamas. He probably wants to join Hamas. But he didn't really choose that life. So I'm not sitting and saying that October 7th, is not bad. It was terrible. It was horrible. And we need to hold the people that did that accountable. But at the same exact time, we should try to protect the lives of children. And we see that we have elite, powerful people like Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew that couldn't give two craps about the lives of children. They want to abuse children. So with everything that's going on in the Epstein leaks and seeing Mike Huckabee's answer to this question, it just gives me a really sick feeling in my stomach. Let's play the clip.
I wish that none of those people in Gaza had been killed after October 8th. Well, I say not none of them. I'm glad Mohammed Sinwar was killed. I'm glad that some of those warriors, the people who masterminded and carried out the atrocities of October 7th.
14-year-old Hamas operatives, how do you feel about their deaths?
If they participated in that, then God help them. I'm telling you,
what does
Tucker,
that mean, God help
I don't know that they were 14 years. No, but I'm telling you that when someone commits the acts of atrocity and then they hold hostages, if these were your children being held hostage in Gaza, what would you do to get them out?
I wouldn't want to kill 14-year-olds. I'll tell you that.
Let me ask you something. Would you do whatever it took to get your kids back if they were being tortured, raped, starved, and beaten?
I would not kill children, period.
Well, I'm just telling you.
And I would never make excuses for killing children either.
And I'm not talking about targeting children. I'm talking about...
You told me that 14-year-olds deserve to die because they were working for Hamas.
I'm telling you...
My question is, can you hear yourself?
I do hear myself.
Now, this was the spiciest portion of the entire interview. And you can tell that Mike Huckabee is doubling down, tripling down on his support of Israel, which I totally understand. He is the U.S. ambassador to Israel. But at the same time, he has to understand that people that are not Israel first are going to look at that and they're going to think that he seems insensitive. They're going to think that he seems very callous. And Mike Huckabee is a Christian, a Judeo-Christian. He loves the Judeo part of it, which is cool. That's fine. I'm not even hating on him for that. But my point is, he's supposed to be a guy that wants to bring peace to this earth. He's supposed to be a guy that's about nonviolence and, not taking the lives of other people. But it seems like in that clip, he really is very callous and doesn't care about the lives of young children if they're even associated with Hamas. So I'm not a Hamas supporter. Every single Hamas terrorist, I could care less if they get blown up. I mean, that's how I honestly feel. But if you're a 14-year-old kid, you're a 12-year-old kid, the majority of the victims in the Gaza Strip right now are under 18 that have died since October 7th. I don't really like that. I think that if you're a kid, you should be protected. The adults in the room should protect the kids. And there's a reason why we don't want kids to get transgender surgeries. There's a reason why we don't let kids get tattoos. There's a reason why we don't let kids drive cars when they're too young. It's because they're not mature enough. They can't make these decisions. So even if a kid joins Hamas, he's making that decision with bad information. So we have to have just a little bit of empathy for these people. And for him to say that in the manner that he said it, it seems like Mike Huckabee has lost his ability to have empathy for anybody that opposes Israel. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I just want politicians to watch this and watch this interview with Tucker, because I really applaud both of them for doing it and sitting down and having a hard conversation, because we need more of these hard conversations. We need to have interviews with people we don't agree with, because all day long we can sit here and just kiss Donald Trump's derriere. That's not entertaining. That's not good. I don't think that we actually fix anything by just agreeing all the time. So I want to applaud both of them. I thought Huckabee did a better job than I expected. In that clip, he got, a little animated. He got a little hyphy. He started, having an emotional response, and I think that was his biggest emotional response in the interview. But other than that, he was a pretty cool operator the whole entire time. And a big shout out to Tucker. He did get detained. Everybody wants to act like that was just a fake story. He did get detained, and it's never fun to get detained in a foreign country. Trust me, I know that. I go to these foreign countries. They want to give me the 5th degree on what I'm doing there. So I understand what it feels like to be in a vulnerable situation in a foreign country where people don't like you. And I think it's very obvious that all of the leaders of Israel do not like Tucker Carlson. So if you guys want to call Tucker a liar, he's not. Spoke to his producer. He did get detained. And the person that he took the picture with was his driver that actually drove him from the plane to the security department. So all I'm saying is we're arguing about stupid things like whether or not Tucker got detained for a few minutes, when in reality, what's important is that there's 14-year-old kids getting their heads blown off, and our ambassadors couldn't give two craps. All right, coming up next, guys, we got the hypocrisy from the one, the only Martha Stewart, talking about how she's mad at her husband for cheating on her when she was the one that cheated first. You don't want to miss it. Coming up next.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access. Plus, commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with a family I love.
Hey guys, my name is Jeff. I'm from Massachusetts.
I love Rav because of the free speech and the political wranglings that go on in the chat every day.
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
Thank you guys so much for watching After Hours with Alex Stein on Real America's Voice. Now, we got to get into the hypocrisy of Martha Stewart. That's right, the one, the only Martha Stewart. She went to jail for stock trading and insider trading specifically. And to be honest, I thought that that was a bad deal. I think that she was unfairly targeted, and what she did was not that bad, and she probably did need to go to jail. And the reason that I want to talk about Martha Stewart is because I've been speaking with Eagle Ed Martin, who's in charge of the pardons for, the Trump administration, about getting my friend Joe Exotic out of jail, the Tiger King. And Eagle Ed Martin has been very open about it. He says that Martha Stewart refused a pardon in Trump's first administration, and that if somehow I can create a social media campaign and make Martha Stewart interested in receiving a pardon from Trump, that he could probably put them together because they are both reality TV celebrities, I guess you would call it. Just like how Donald Trump was able to pardon a bunch of ex-NFL football players and athletes at the same time. It would be like a package deal. And so in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to start this campaign. So I started doing a little bit of research on Martha Stewart. Come to find out, she's actually kind of evil. I know, and I don't want to say that because I know she's a good cook. I know she knows how to, set a table, and I know she smokes weed with Snoop Dogg. All that seems kind of cool. But in this clip, the hypocrisy it's honestly disturbing, because she can't take any ownership that she was the one that cheated on her husband first. So she wants to act like a victim, when in reality, she was the one that started all the static. And then on top of that, in the clip we're about to play it, she describes the guy that she cheated on her husband with as being very sexy, as if she wants to sleep with the guy right now. It seems like Martha Stewart's horny as hell, is all I'm saying. So let's play the clip.
Young women, listen to my advice. If you're married and you think you're happily married and your husband starts to cheat on you, he's a piece of shit. And look at him as a piece of shit and get out of it. Get out of that marriage. But I couldn't do that. Couldn't walk away.
Didn't you have an affair early on in the relationship, or when you were a broker?
Yeah, but I don't think Andy ever knew about that.
He did say he knew about it.
He did?
Yes, you would confess to him.
Oh.
He says he didn't stray from the marriage until you told him you had already strayed.
Oh, that's not true. I don't think.
But what happened? You had an affair?
I had a very brief affair with a very attractive Irish man.
Well, just because the Irish guy that was blasting you only lasted 5 minutes, even if that was very brief, you were still getting blasted by another man other than your husband. So the fact that you're doubling down, tripling down when they press you about you were the one that cheated first, Martha, and he's like, oh, well, my husband didn't know about that, so, his infidelity's worse. He did know about it. And that is probably the reason that he was motivated to cheat on you in the first place. So the idea that you're going to go and do an interview, and this is an interview from 2024, it's 2 years old, but I was doing my research. I was thinking about getting her a pardon, and then I just see this clip, and it makes me absolutely sick. So I don't think you deserve to go to jail for stock trading, but you probably deserve to go to jail for cheating on your husband first and foremost, and then doing an interview like you're a victim. It's basically retarded. So, but speaking of people that are mentally challenged, this guy in Canada was able to sue because the barber on their website didn't have some fake made-up gender that he could click. So this is really happening in Canada. This barbershop got in a lot of trouble, and I just can't believe it, because on top of all this makes me so mad. The guy doesn't have any hair. He's got no hair. Why is he on a barber's website anyway? Just play the clip.
My name is Alex Frederic Mignot. My pronouns are they, them.
Alex Frederic Mignot says they are satisfied with a ruling by Quebec's Human Rights Tribunal. Mignot complained that a salon's online booking system was discriminatory to non-binary customers. It was ordered to pay $500.
To see the tribunal side with me on that and say that, you know what, non-binary people shouldn't be forced to pick men or women. And it's not fair for them. I was so relieved and happy to hear that.
It all started 2 years ago when Mignot wanted to book a haircut at Station 10 Salon in Longueuil. Customers are asked to choose whether it's for men, women, children, or someone with a beard or braids, something Mignot refused to do.
It's a repetition of a trauma that I keep living over and over again. And it cuts me off from society.
They filed a complaint with Quebec's Human Rights Commission. The salon offered Mignot 3 free haircuts and changed its website to include a non-gendered option. Its co-owner says he's surprised the issue wound up in court.
Well, it's $500. It's not a big amount, but it is a precedent, and many even are.
I mean, guys, Canada's cooked. Just think about it. The tribunal, their court system, actually fined the barbershop $500. And then on top of that, the barbershop offered the guy 3 free haircuts. But the thing that's missing in all of this is the guy has no hair. Well, how did this not get thrown out? As soon as a bald guy comes in complaining about how he can't be gay in his barbershop pre-survey, should be totally discredited if you can't cut any hair on your head. I don't understand. How is this happening? How did they take this serious? I'm so happy that I live in America. I know that there's some powerful people in America that hang out with pedophiles, and I do not think that that's cool. But at the same exact time, at least we're not Canada. Canada is way worse, way gayer. It's a non-binary country. It really... It's basically becoming more Indian than Canadian. So really, their controlled demolition of their country, I'm happy that it's happening. Because they need to face the consequences for their actions. And if they're going to enable a mentally ill person to sue a barbershop when they're bald for not having non-binary as an option when they did a pre-survey before their haircut, then good. Bye. See ya. I mean, Justin Trudeau, he's not the prime minister anymore. He's blasting Katy Perry. Good for him. He's probably having the best time of his life while his country is just burning to the ground. It's ridiculous. And you know what? I don't even feel any empathy for Canada anymore because they're all the good ones are moving here anyway. But speaking of transgenders, now, guys, I'm pretty loosey-goosey. You know, if you're an adult, you want to put on a dress, we're going to make fun of you, but I don't think you should necessarily be in jail. But sadly, the idea that people on the right accuse all transgenders of being pedophiles, that's not true, but sometimes partially it is true, right? Because this is a transgender Democrat in Minnesota advocating for pornography for kids. And it's always a transgender goofball. So let's play this clip. Leah Fink. They're making waves for sure. Really, really gay waves. Let's play it.
You mentioned the Paxton case. And the AGs in many states are very clear about they're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal, you have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education for queer kids. We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids.
So Democrat Leah Fink is arguing that young children need to have access to books that teach them how to have anal sex. Or I guess lesbians on how to scissor each other. I don't know. I guess how to use sex toys. I honestly don't even know. But I do know in some of this literature, these books will teach children how to bind their breasts. They'll teach them how to do oral sex. These are topics that do not need to be in a public school, especially with young kids. I mean, you could argue 17, 18-year-olds, maybe you could have this material, but you're talking about schools where young kids, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I mean, they don't need to have access and learn how to do anal sex. They can figure it out. Believe it or not, humans have figured out how to have sex before the internet, before books. It's instinctually, genetically, in all of us. We all know how to do it. So when you say that you want to have sexual materials in schools with children, you are a groomer. Because you can't procreate, so you have to recruit people into your weird, woke ideology, sexually confused gay cult. And it's horrible, it's disgusting, and the fact that you can go there with a straight face and argue this like you're, Atticus Finch, and To Kill a Mockingbird, like you're arguing the most important civil rights issue in the world, when in reality, what you're arguing for is basically pornography for children. You should be ashamed of yourself. But a man that wears a dress in a meeting like that and tries to pretend to be a girl, you have no shame. You've lost the ability to even feel embarrassed. I know your friends are embarrassed, at least the ones before you were trans. I'm sure your parents are not proud of you. I'm sure you have become probably a pariah in every social circle that you've ever been in. And because of that, because you feel that you were jaded, because you decided to transition as an adult, now you're trying to, I guess, punish all of us for people just having a normal feeling and thinking that you're a weirdo that wants to groom children. So because of that, because not everybody accepts you the way that you want to be accepted, Leah Fink, now you want to punish the young kids in this country, especially in Minnesota. And Minnesota's cooked. Canada's cooked. Minnesota's cooked. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not Canada, enabling trans people to sue barbershops when the guy's bald, and then our politicians fighting for sexual material in schools and classrooms, it just really is frustrating that we've lost our connection with reality. And this person, Leah Fink, has no connection to reality. They're living in La La Land, where you can cut off your genitals and all of a sudden become the opposite sex, which, I hate to break it to you, Leah, you look like a dude. We all know you're a boy, and you're never going to be a woman. And what you're doing to me is disrespectful. I can't do blackface. You shouldn't be able to do woman face. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, we got some great music coming up next. Some from your boy Primetime 99, and we got our new song. What is our new song? Oh, we got our official, Truth Bomb. It's a good song. I like it. I've shared it. I've listened to it. I forget that it's called Truth Bomb, but it's good. You guys want to hear it? Coming up next.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Flash a source in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with a family I love.
Hey guys, my name is Jeff. I'm from Massachusetts. I love Rav because of the free speech and the political wranglings that go on in the chat every day.
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
Thank you guys so much for spending your Friday right here watching After Hours with Alex Stein on Real America's Voice. And I got to tell you, I'm so thankful that I live in Dallas, Texas. I thank my lucky stars every day, and shout out to the crew. I know they're in West Palm Beach, another great free state. And I thank my lucky stars because I'm not living in New York City or the 5 boroughs right there. Because now that they voted for Zohran Mamdani, the socialist mayor that is going to give everybody free food and free everything, which is impossible, it looks like the people that voted for him are now starting to reap what they sow. And this is a great clip of a bunch of concerned citizens, and I think they're in Cambria Heights, Queens, which is, it's in a blue-collar area, to say the least. It's an area that my favorite big booty Latina, AOC, probably never goes to, even though she should. But now the residents are realizing that they're going to be the ones that are responsible for all of the tax hikes that Mamdani is about to do. Because all the billionaires, they basically left. So who's going to be the one that has to foot the bill? It's going to be the middle class. And if you really think about it, they don't care about the middle class. Mamdani doesn't care about the middle class. Actually, a socialist would want to get rid of the middle class because he would rather have a population that is reliant on government handouts so that they can control us, so that they have all the power. That's what socialism is. They don't want us to be rich. They don't want us to be successful. But now, the same citizens that voted for Mamdani are reaping what they sow. Let's play the clip.
The mayor, with the greatest respect, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Saving only 2 options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Zohran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
So while Mamdani in New York City is raising the property taxes, you have a great governor in DeSantis who's trying to get rid of the property taxes in Florida. Doesn't that sound like a much better place to live? I would say so. I think it's very obvious. So Mamdani is going to continue to tax the citizens of New York to death. He's already talking about how they have to go into their rainy day fund, which is a bank account that they hold a lot of money in case they have a natural disaster, in case they have a terrorist attack. That's money that's used for a serious emergency. But he's going to have to do that just to be able to pay the bills, just to be able to pay for the buses, pay for the trains, pay for the garbage people, pay for, all of the city services that New York City needs. A city that used to be the greatest city on earth has now become an embarrassment to the American people and the citizens that live there. And I really hope that a 34-year-old brown guy that smokes a little bit of weed, he said that. I hope he can fix it, but I highly doubt it. So if you're a citizen, there's a couple great states to move to. Don't move to Texas. We have enough of you guys. Go to Florida. I know everybody at RAV would rather you go to West Palm Beach specifically, but I don't think they're going to be going to West Palm Beach. But if you do, your property taxes are probably going to be gone while they increase in New York City. So which is better? I think you know the answer to that. All right, now, guys, we got to talk about this. You saw some African-American men. They're mad. Well, we love the African-American men. Actually, I love pro sports. I love rap music. The blacks are the best. And I just want you to know that. Us white people, we are the inferior ones. Even though we're smarter, even though we're better at business and really every single other thing in the world other than sports, we are the inferior race. And this guy is going to back me up in that sentiment. Let's play the clip.
The problem that South Africans have right now is that we don't understand white people. White people are inferior species to us. We are Homo sapiens. They've got Neanderthal blood in them. This is the science, and this is not science that was done by black people. It was done by them. You understand? Abu Clive W. Lewis, they were eugenicists. They studied this, and they realized that they're inferior to blacks. The white population is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. For us, it makes no sense to descend into the savagery that they have. Whatever land that they're holding on to, either way, their numbers are dwindling. Whatever leadership that they had is dying out as well. And you know about wealth disappearing after the third generation that it's passed down to, So they're on the last generation. We're dealing with the weakest whites that the world has ever seen. So we expect to have Ubuntu, humanity.
I hate to say it, but the guy's exactly right. The white population is dwindling. The black people are better. Specifically in South Africa, where he is, after apartheid, when they gave black people more ownership of the land, they had a lot of issues with their crops. They actually couldn't grow crops. So luckily, these black people that are the superior race, the black Hebrew Israelites, any black guy, they need us white people because they don't know how to grow stuff and they don't know how to do taxes and they don't know how to not get arrested all the time. So luckily, we are always going to have a role in society. But I would encourage anybody that's watching this that is, if I'm pushing your buttons a little bit, we got to freaking amp up the population of white people because a lot of what he said is true. The white population is shrinking every single day, and that's not a good thing for society. We need the white people, even though we're inferior and we don't make the NBA as much. Trust me, we are important. We are the ones that actually make the system work the best. And I'm not saying that like I'm all confident and cocky because already I've admitted that blacks are the superior race, and everybody should know that. And I just want you to know that we are inferior. I'm inferior. I am a Neanderthal, and that guy's brilliant. Okay, well, guys, we got some new music from Real America's Music. I love this so much. This new song is from a collective of our artists. We call them the Truth Bombers. And this new song, it's going viral all over social media. It's called Truth Bomb. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. They feed you headlines, cut the frame, say it loud enough, call it fact. Change the words, dodge the blame, sell the lie, then double back.
From Real America's Music, the label that brought you Anthem of the Free, The Boss, and Somali Wall, comes a brand new anthem built for a distrustful age. Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers. Talks about distrust of institutions, media manipulation, shifting government narratives, big tech censorship, cancel culture, and ideological silencing. The culture needs a truth bomb, and this track delivers. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. We've broken records before. Let's do it again together.
And that's what I love so much about Real America's Voice is that we are not just being part of the culture, we're creating the culture. And we're creating music, and everybody likes music. And it's music that is not being produced by satanic pedophiles like a lot of the artists. I mean, you think I'm kidding. Look at Lil Nas X. You remember when he got famous? All of a sudden, he's making music videos where he's having, like, gay sex with Satan. I can promise you guys this. In none of Real America's music will there ever be any satanic gay sex. I can promise you that, unless we're making fun of it. Maybe we'll mention it by saying it's bad. My point is, it's not going to indoctrinate your children into being some weird non-binary freak. So it's music that's safe for the family, it's safe for you, and it's good for the country. So support Real America's Voice by going and downloading Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers right now. I would appreciate it. Now, speaking of them, of course, this is Primetime Alex Stein, and another reason why I like Real America's Voice so much is that the pimp on a blimp is about to get on the mic, and we're about to freaking start making some music that is going to make people dance, and it's going to make them think. Because that's the real type of music that I liked. I liked all those wartime songs, Buffalo Springfield back in the day. You know, I like music that actually has meaning to it and means something, and it's not just about big screen TVs and big booty Latinas, even though I like that type of music too. My point is, we're going to change the culture. It starts now. And it's our job to be the leaders in this thing, because if we're just following the people that are making music right now, they're going to lead us straight to hell. And I'm not even being hyperbolic. I'm being 100% literal. So I want to play this song. This is from Absent Insight. He's a great supporter. He's a great fan of the show. And it looks like we're going to be making some more music with Absent very soon. Now, this song is called Big Blimpin'. And it's just kind of a song about who Primetime 99 Alex Stein is. Now, I have to be honest, I gave you that whole, diatribe about how our music's like all, good and not demonic or anything. This song is a little more freaky deaky. When you're messing with a pimp on a blimp, I am going to push the limits. My music's not going to be as wholesome, I guess you would say. It's going to be a little crazier. But we need that craziness, because we need to basically kind of fight fire with fire. If they're going to be crazy, then we need to be crazy a little bit back. So that's Primetime 99 Alex Stein. That's who I am. I'm going to fight fire with fire, and I'm going to fight the current music industry with our form of a new music industry that is not a bunch of satanic pedophiles. Let's play Big Blimpin' by Abs. What is it? This is, okay, let's say that again. Hold on, say. We're going to play Big Blimpin' by Absent Insight.
I got two nuts combined in my tuck, friendly bathing suit with they are confined. But my nuts are too sublime, they don't quite align. White dudes for Harry surely find a comfy design. Like Stein 99, yeah, pimp on the blimp. Better man beating women at the limp. But just one punch in the eye, now she is limping. Millionaire overnight, and now I'm big blimping.
Be on the lookout for more Primetime 99 Alex Stein, who's going to rock your mind. Thank you for watching After Hours with Alex Stein on Real America's Voice. We'll see you next week.
You crave and I go insane. Put a bullet in Putin's brain. And you got that sanitizer. And you know I...
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet.